Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to do a quick sketch of comic book guy from The Simpsons. So while we are doing this quick sketch, we will also, if we're doing a head and shoulders shot by the way, and we will briefly just talk about the character. So let's get he's a heavyset character, so we'll get some nice round shoulders there, and let's put in, I guess, an oval for the head right here. His neck is like that chubby kind of frame that tucks well into the shoulders, and let's do that. So nose is somewhere around here and mouth somewhere around here. That's like just another dimension to sketch him out. So what we'll do is grab ourselves a darker pencil, because after all the Simpsons are all with this nice black outline that goes with each character sketch. So that is the forehead. He has a head of hair that's like, receding, so starts around here somewhere, the hairline. It's a receding hairline. So comic book guy, whose real name is Jeff Albertson, is the owner of the Android Dungeon, or it is the comic book store in Springfield. So there we have the standard set of eyes right there. What we could, well, let's just continue the sketch. So there's the little like sagging detail under the eyes, and that goes into the signature Simpsons upper lip, just that far. And then we have the lower lip that is a hint of being like a double chin, but not necessarily a double chin, but really heavy set. Goes all the way to the collar here, comes back up and goes into the ear somewhere around there. And then of course we continue that receding hairline and join it here, come back right behind the ear, and he always has this ponytail. And yes, the shoulders, so we'll bring them up here. There's the t-shirt, and he has this like chubby chest and all those details which we don't necessarily put in there, and I know that ponytail goes up a little bit like that. So he was created by Matt Groening, and he was teamed up with Jeff Martin, who Matt Groening we know very well. He created the majority of the Simpsons characters. It's like his brainchild, this entire show. But yes, there are the other little instances of brilliance where other writers, prominent writers like Jeff Martin, he used to write for David Letterman. So, and he has also been producer on other shows like Maury. So significant individual when it comes to writing, particularly light-hearted content. So we're just outlining comic book guy as we are talking about his roots. So the character was, of course, he was designed on, they say, actually according to Matt Groening, and that is the thin beard and mustache that he has. They're like this, so kind of like that. Okay, so they actually based him off somebody who they actually saw at a comic book store. And often, according to Matt Groening, people used to come to him and say that, hey, like we know who you based this character off on. So his character is like, he's very dedicated. He's a comic book buff, a sci-fi fan. He knows all about comic books. He collects them. He sells them. Of course, he also gets a very good. He sells Bart and the group of friends that first issue of Radioactive Man, and we see how he's handling it with a bunch of tweezers and a plastic sleeve. That is how precious he holds these comics and pop culture in general. So there's other like backstory into his character, like he's also he's social, but he's also withdrawn in the sense that he has his own bird's eye view of the world. And in one certain very funny, I found it funny anyways, he was almost he read Principal Skinner's mom, but at the last moment I think she decided, I do not exactly remember, but I think she decided that no, she did not want to settle down after all, and so he eventually, I believe in the course of the show, he married a manga artist, so from Japan. So a very fitting, very detailed thing that was done by the show there to give the character another dimension. So he speaks with this lisp, and he has this very confident atmosphere about him. So we're just putting in some random pencils here just to fill this up. Of course, if we take our time, we will do this a little more wisely, a little more slowly, and just have more even coloring all through. But this is the conventional comic book by color layout. So he's voiced by the brilliant, and I'm a big fan of this person, the brilliant Hank Azaria, who voices a host of other characters on The Simpsons, both consistently and sometimes he just like fills in even. Like Moe, for instance, is one of the more challenging characters that he does, and then if you see that comic book guy's voice is like very, very different to Moe's, but Hank Azaria always finds a way with his immense talent to pull off those vocal cords for all these different characters, and comic book guy is done extremely well. I am very entertaining to watch, always a welcome addition to any Simpson episode, just for that, you know, that lispy voice that Azaria somehow produces and makes it very effective. I believe he has a light brown hair, and what we'll just do is just pick the conventional light brown and just put it in. I know that's coming across a little more redder, but I'm just trying to keep it very light. So for those who have not somehow checked out Comic Book Guy, I would really recommend just like checking him out on Google to start with, and then of course there must be content on YouTube about this guy, showing some of his clips, and you should really check it out because it's awesome. It's awesome television. So there we have it, a quick sketch of Comic Book Guy. We put out content pretty much every day, so please stay in touch, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day.